Hello once again, and welcome to downtown Reno here at the Reno Event Center. We've got indoor football, the second game of their inaugural season. The Reno Barons will entertain the Stockton Wolves. I'm Dan Gustin, along with my broadcast partner, JoJo Townsell. JoJo, last week we expected a lot more offense. Didn't get it. I expect that we'll get it tonight.
I believe we will, Dan. Last week, the defense of the Barons just dominated the game and actually scored 3 touchdowns. But we have a Stockton team that looks very explosive, very athletic, and we have a rivalry. This is the first of 4 games, Dan, and there's been a lot of talk about this game, and both teams are fired up.
When you talk about talk, there has been from the ownership to the coaches to now the teams, and they're going to go after it. Offensively, the Barons are changed their quarterback. They've got Peregrine starting at quarterback tonight.
Yes, they do. Tom Peregrine, he's a very excellent quarterback. He had a good game last week. He really showed a good feel for the passing game, and he had an outstanding college career. And I think we're going to see some consistency this week from the Barons offense.
The thing that the Barons, I thought, they played well. Obviously, you put up 67 points and you're playing well. But defensively, they weren't really challenged. We think the Stockton Wolves are going to challenge them, especially their cornerbacks. They didn't seem to react like receivers, and running against DBs your entire career, they didn't react as quickly as I thought they should have.
No, they certainly didn't, but the Stockton group is very explosive, as I mentioned, but they also seem like they have a lot to gain today by trying to take over this rivalry that was going to start today, but also that they see this is the team that they're going to have to challenge to win this title.
Well, I think we talk about hitting. I think we're going to have some great hitting tonight in the matchup between the Barons and the Wolves. Stay tuned. We'll be back with our pregame show right after this. We're back at the Reno Event Center. I went out front just a little bit ago between when JoJo and I were talking on the field to check out. There are a long line of cars getting in the garage across the street, so I think even though the crowd seems to be a little bit sparse across the way from us on the west side, there are more people on the east side, and there's still more people about to come in. They were just parking over in the garage getting locations. You and I were talking, JoJo, before the ball game, and when you play on Good Friday, on Easter weekend, it is a lot tougher to draw a crowd. People with families are out of town. I knew you had planned with your family to go out of town. It's just a tough time to play on a holiday like that and draw people to a night game, especially on a Friday night.
It certainly is, Dan, and all you can do is just, as a player, you're preparing for your game, and that's just the main objective of these two teams. These two teams have a lot to look forward to, and the audience that we do have here tonight, they're in for a treat.
Last week for the Barons, their defense was the dominant part of the ball. There's no doubt about that. They also came up with interceptions, and when we look at the defensive chart, Ryan Johnson, who plays in that secondary, had 3 interceptions. LeGrone had 1. Barry had a couple breakups, but the Bighorns had, I think it was 7 interceptions last week total as a team. I think that was partly due to the Tucson Trojans, not as experienced a team, but in a passing game like this, you can expect turnovers, and especially interceptions.
Certainly so. I mean, passing, you pass first in the indoor league, and that means that it's a lot of opportunities for the defense to make some plays, especially on the short field. The defensive backs, they have the liberty to sit down at the breaks of the receivers, so they're not playing as deep as well, so they're giving them a better chance to break towards the ball when the pass is in the air.
The other thing you talk about in sports, and especially in football, is going north-south. In a smaller field like this of 50 yards and 5 feet wide, is that enhanced? Is that even more important?
Yes, it really is, because all you need to do is just make one move on a tackler, and you can have an opportunity to score a touchdown very easily.
Okay, we're down to the corner.
Going to put up with any crap. We want you to play good football. And if you do, we're going to let you play. But if you don't want to play, then we'll throw the flag. Is that a deal?
I'm good.
Green talks to green, and black talks to black. And you're responsible for your team. You control them. Now, Stockton, you're the visitor. You get the call. Heads is the call. Heads is the call. And it's stay right there. You won the toss. Which goal do you want to defend? You want to kick this way? Okay, then get over there. Green won the toss, and they're going to receive the football. Good luck to both teams. Shake hands.
Well, as you can hear loud and clear, the Reno Barons won the coin toss. They will get the football, and as many possessions as you can get in this brand of football, it's got to be to your benefit. It didn't start out that way last week when the Barons got the ball, and they finally got the first touchdown on a recovery in the end zone, but they got it here. Let's take a look at the Barons starting lineup. Some changes we mentioned in the first part of our pregame show. Well, one of them in the middle of the line, Salifi Fafita, will start at center this week. And Mark Parrish, a new addition to the team. He'll be one of the tackles. Thomas Peregrine, the quarterback. We talked about him. He will get the starting nod over Joby Platt. Peregrine was 50% passing last week, going 5 of 10. And Keithan Valentine, their leading rusher. They're the 3 wide receivers. Del Bates, Scott Witter caught 3 passes. And, of course, the kicker, Murph Trout, who has a really, really outstanding leg.
Yes, he certainly does. And he gives the Barons an opportunity to score from anywhere on the field. So it should be a very exciting game. I think we're going to have a lot of explosion tonight. We have some very good athletes here tonight. And, again, we have 2 teams that are vying to at least take the first lead to becoming the team to beat in this league.
And it's interesting to see 2 teams like this trying to get superiority by trying to out-talk one another.
Well, it's part of the game now. The trash talking just seems to be part of the hip-hop generation, if you will, and that's been brought onto all the professional sports, and it's just a way to intimidate the other team, and sometimes it does work. But bottom line is you got to show it on the field, and you got to display the type of talent that's going to give you an opportunity to talk some stuff.
JoJo, you mentioned last week we were talking about receivers have their heads on swivels, and you mentioned Ronnie Lott. You always knew where he was on the field. Were there any other guys that, if they weren't intimidating with their talk, were intimidating with their play that you kind of were well aware of?
Well, as a receiver, sometimes you make the mistake of knowing who's a defensive back and who is a linebacker. I had that mistake a couple of times, and unfortunately my mistake was with Lawrence Taylor, a Hall of Fame player with the New York Giants. So my times with the Jets, I got to know Lawrence pretty well, unfortunately, and I saw quite a lot of stars there, Dan.
He can come. He always could come and bring it. Well, you see the Barons getting prepared to come on the field. There's their general manager and the coach, Anthony Bartley. The general manager. The owner of this team is Ches Jennings. Steve Matson is the managing partner. And Tim Pierce, we just mentioned, the general manager, as the Barons make their way over the wall. San Jose, excuse me, they were originally San Jose. Stockton, been ready for a while to kick off the ball. They have their 8 men on. The Barons have made them wait a little bit. It's like boxing. Sometimes the favorite of the champion will make the challenger wait in the ring a little bit longer before they come in, and that's all part of what you're talking about, this intimidation factor that's come into sports so much these days. The Barons seem to be in no hurry to get back out on the field.
No, anything you can do to distract the other team, you're going to try to do it. And the Barons, they know exactly where Stockton's coming from. Stockton has really talked quite a bit, and it hasn't been very friendly. Even during the pregame warm-ups, there's kind of been a tug of war. So again, this is the Barons' home field. They want to show Stockton that they're going to have to bring it if they're going to try to win this ball game tonight.
These 2 teams will play again next week. It'll be in Stockton next week. As JoJo had mentioned earlier, they'll play 4 times this year. So they'll get to know one another pretty well. As we're kind of waiting for the game to start. It was scheduled to start right at 7. It's about 7:05. Not a big deal, but we're waiting for it. But the guys on the sideline, tell us about butterflies. You seem to have them in every sport until the first hit or the first contact or the first something is made, right?
Well, I know myself personally, as weird as it sounds, even at my position at being a wide receiver, I needed to get hit first before I would relax. So I know a lot of the players are kind of like that. You just want the action to begin.
rise and remove your headwear.
We will take a timeout. We'll be back to the Reno Event Center right after this. Well, we've had our national anthem sung. Teams are on the field. We're ready to go. The second ever game in downtown Reno in indoor football. Reno Barons, a catalyst of the league, put it together. The Stockton Wolves, the two of them vying for supremacy in the league, and they have not been bashful to tell everybody about it. Stefan Ferdinandi, out of Fresno State, is the kicker for Stockton. We watched him in warm-ups. His right foot is really strong. He's got a good leg. He and Murph Trout are really an excellent pairing when you're talking about kickers. Well, it hits the rafter and comes right back into the end zone. It'll go out of the end zone. Right away we have a hitting across the way. You see the ball, but there was some ferocious hitting on the kick return across the way. One of the Wolves and one of the Barons mixing it up right away.
Well, Dan, I think that's just the start of what we're going to see all game long. Here are our first look at our Bullies replay. Here's a great kick with a great elevation. And we hit the top of the roof.
A little too much elevation. Now watch across the board on the left side of the screen. Wow, we just got off it, but you could see the tussle going on. We mentioned the starting quarterback is Tom Peregrine, 6'3", 200-pounder from Western Michigan University. At their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Witter in motion. Peregrine with the arm fake. And he will get short yardage. He will get a couple. So the snap was much better. There's problems on both sides of the ball last week, JoJo, with the snaps, but that was a direct snap to Peregrine. He kept his head up and got a chance to look downfield.
Yeah, he had a chance to look downfield there, and there would have been a chance at a jump ball, but he selected to hold on to it and gain a couple of yards for the Barons.
2nd and 8. On the pitch, Valentine turns the corner, lowers his head. He'll be very close to the first down, maybe a yard short, as the Wolves come across, and Reggie Eubanks, I believe, the first to get to him.
Good play by the Barons. A nice toss play to Valentine. Valentine and Raheem Smith, they give the Barons a good running attack, and I think that they will use tonight and show a little balance both with passing and running tonight.
3rd and a yard. Again, the receivers on both sides of the formation in motion. Valentine quick around the corner. Boy, he has got that first step, and he takes the first step. He's at full speed as he gets around the corner inside the 15-yard line for a first down.
Well, again, Dan, in the indoor league, this is something that the running game is not is secondary to the passing. So they're surprising the Wolves right now, and it's working to the benefit of the Barons.
I marked it. They said it was inside the 15. It'll put them down right at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10. Barons on their opening drive. Peregrine on the ground. Wolves at that time at the line of scrimmage, they were really sniffing it out as they came in and made sure nobody turned a corner. So they'll actually lose a yard. They'll be 2nd and 11. You can only go the well so many times.
Yes, good surge by the Wolves defensive line. They were able to penetrate up the field and stop the play from even getting back to the line of scrimmage.
All right, more like a loss of 2. Peregrine. Oh boy, darn near picked off. That was thrown right into coverage. And Zachary Schrader, number 4, got a hand on it, and that's all he could do was knock it aside. 3rd down.
Here our replay, Dan. Peregrine's trying to look away the defense, but with the short field, you have to be very careful and be able to read the defense. The defense doesn't have to go very far to undercut a pass.
You know it better than I, but Del Bates, who's the intended receiver, has to find an empty zone. Well, that's snap from center is fumbled and picked up by Peregrine. He goes straight forward into the 14-yard line. So bring up 3rd down and 9. But back to Bates. Again, he went down and set in an area, but you've got to move a little bit to get open for your quarterback.
Yeah, yes you do. Here we are, we're looking at the fumbled snap here, and Farragut had the presence of mind to move forward and keep possession of the ball. But
so the field goal attempt by Trout will be 30 yards. And it is wide. So the Wolves do their job. They hold on. Trout misses the field goal. And we will see Stockton for the first time offensively. Dressed in their orange and black. We mentioned before that how dominant the Barons were defensively. Let's see if they can get their will at the line of scrimmage in tonight's game. We'll see how it starts out. The quarterback is Chad Elliott. He is 6'2", a 215-pounder, originally from Syracuse University. Good protection. Checks off his first receiver, comes back underneath, and nice catch by Reggie Eubanks. But I was impressed with the offensive line. They gave him time because he was looking for his wide receiver who was in motion. He wasn't open. He checked off and hit it second.
Yes, he certainly did. And good presence by the quarterback. He had plenty of time. Good line protection.
13-yard gain, first down. Little seam route. And Eubanks with the grab will go inside the 15-yard line. And Kika Kalula'au, the nose guard for the Barons, got double teamed in the backfield and was back there. People were laying on him, and he didn't like it a whole heck of a lot.
It's going to be a physical game tonight, Dan, and these teams are going to have to show some poise so they do not give away any unwanted penalties.
Another first down, consecutive first downs at the 14 of the Barons. Elliott. Oh, nice defensive play. Just the ball was getting there. Ryan Johnson, who had 3 interceptions last week, came over and just knocked it away at the appropriate time.
Well, look here on our Bullies replay. Oh, we're seeing a great block by the Wolves on Kiki. He's going to have to really try to stay on his feet and surge, or he's going to get pancaked quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, Kika got up high, and what the problem was, they just rode him the way he was going and to the turf. So the incompletion makes it 2nd and 10. 2 wide receivers right of the formation. They're in motion. Elliott throws underneath, and the Wolves get the first touchdown. They will go in from 14 yards.
Excellent throw by Elliott there. He has a lot of presence in the pocket here, and it's easy to have a presence when you have that much time to throw. He's just looking around all around the field, looking away defenders, and he found his receiver on the flat, and he was able to break a tackle and run it in for the score.
Yep, get the first score, and that's Jason Tillery with the score, and Ferdinandi will try the extra. Not a good snap. So Ferdinandi has to scramble. Flag down, but the 2-pointer is good. Let's see what the penalty's about. We have a flag about the line of scrimmage.
You wonder if we had linemen down the field.
Illegal defense.
Oh, so the 2-point will stand. And the Wolves in their opening possession score.
That penalty is declined. 2 points.
We will take a timeout. We'll be back to the Reno Event Center. Wolves will kick off. There's the guy who just threw for the 2-pointer. The kicker when the bad snap. And it'll be Del Bates along with Keithan Valentine. They're the men in the end zone for the Barons waiting for the kick. That multicolored football is thrown out. Ferdinandi will kick off.
On your feet, Reno, here we go!
This time it's in the crowd. A souvenir, our first of the night. That young man, good catch in the first row.
Back in the end zone touchback, the ball will start at the...
As remember, if they kick on the kickoff and it goes through the uprights, it's a point for the kicking team. Barons will get the ball 1st and 10.
Well,
They'll
Dan,
start at their 20.
Excuse me, Dan. This is the first time the Barons have been behind in a game. This is the second week of games, so let's see how the team can react.
Now they go back to the multicolored football. 2 receivers right, they're both in motion. Peregrine rolls that way, now it's a step up, throws, and he underthrew, didn't get it there in time, it's knocked away. His receiver had a step, Bates had a step, but the ball a little bit underthrown.
Yeah, yes it was. Here we are, Peregrine dropping back, and he just seems to be getting his throws off just a tad late. Here he needed to zip that a little bit more. He didn't lead his receiver enough because Bates was open.
Yeah, you could see Bates actually slowing down, waiting for the ball. Had he been able to maintain his stride, he would have been an easy catch. So that's complete to the 20-yard line. Gain of 10.
You know, for you Barons fans out there, if Peregrine, he's a lot like Chad Pennington. If you remember Chad Pennington, who plays with Miami Dolphins and played a little bit for the New York Jets, he just throws a nice soft ball and he works on timing. So as long as he continues to work in rhythm, I think you'll see some successful passing game from the Barons.
Witter, who had 3 catches last week, gets his first in tonight's game. Again, Peregrine scrambling. So the Wolves are doing to the Barons what the Barons did to the Trojans last week. They're quickly across the line of scrimmage and disrupting the pass pattern, not giving Peregrine the time.
Well, the good thing that Peregrine is doing is he's realizing it and he's trying to get positive yardage. Instead of trying to just throw the ball up for grabs, he's keeping possession for the Barons, go back for a 2nd down, and let's see if they can continue to sustain this drive.
It'll be 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard scramble. Peregrine throw. He had Bates wide open over the middle, then a very late hit. What a late hit, yeah. And that will be a personal foul, but Bates was open on the crossing pattern, and Peregrine just missed him big time.
Personal foul, roughing the passer defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Well, pretty easy call. If the hit would have just been made, but it looked like there was a little extra effort by the defender, and that's what drew the flag right away from the official.
Well, yes, again, we talked about this. There was a lot of trash talking, and these guys are taking it a little too far where it's going to cost their team. So they're going to have to realize they're going to have to control their emotions.
1st and goal from the 9. Again, pressure up the middle. Peregrine will carry, and he'll outrace the defense. If we get to see it on replay, you'll see where Peregrine saw the defense coming on one side. He went on the opposite side.
Yes, he did. He's looking for a receiver, but he sees nothing but turf in front of him, and he shows good presence in the pocket to move forward and enough speed to take it to the house.
Trout will try to make it a 1-point game. The kick is true. We have an 8-7 ball game. The Barons coming back on their 2nd possession. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back to the event center. Barons will kick off after the 30-yard touchdown drive, executed the final yards by the quarterback for the touchdown and kicked beyond the playing surface. So the Wolves get 1st and 10.
Again, Dan, that the Barons drive was sustained because of that roughing the passer penalty, and I think we're going to these teams are going to have to understand that these type of things are going to reflect how the outcome of this game. So they're going to have to, again, control those emotions.
Yeah, the talk is all well and good before the ball game, but once it starts, you've got to play within the confines of the rules, or otherwise, you said it, that the Barons may not score if they don't get that roughing the passer penalty to get them a 1st and goal to 9-yard line. Got a timeout. Wolves have taken it, and we will oblige. We'll take a timeout. 4:26 ready left to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back. Back to the live action. Chad Elliott, the quarterback, throws across his body and wide open. The receiver inside the 10-yard line. Reggie Eubanks with his 3rd catch already, and they're just trying to separate guys. And I think some of the players are trying to separate guys from their appendages the way they're hitting them.
Oh, Dan, they're just asking where the party's at tonight.
Yeah, right. They're just, yeah. Put me on your Christmas card list. Give me that number again, please. You saw Elliott's ability to find the open man and really throw across his body. Eubanks still chattering about the way he was handled along the sideline.
We have 2 quarterbacks that are just showing excellent presence of the passing game, and they're keeping their eyes downfield and making plays.
Eubanks never attended college, according to his bio. He comes from Cody High School. Kid with a lot of talent. 1st and goal. There's their big fullback trying to motor inside. He'll get inside the 5-yard line. Roger Maupin. Another flag is down after the play is well over. Maupin, the guy that carried it, 6'1". Catch this, JoJo, 265. From Laney College in Oakland. We'll get another look at our Bullies replay.
Here we are right here. A surprise play called by the Wolves.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit, number 78 defense.
Yeah,
half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
That's Kika Kalula'au. They've hit him a couple of times, and he just a little bit of retribution as we got to see the continuation of the play.
Well, that was a good play call by the Wolves because they've been successful with their passing game, so it was a nice surprise that they were able to run the ball, get into position to score.
And the late hit will give them a penalty half the way to the goal, be at the 1-yard line. 1st and goal from the 1. And the fullback, they were waiting for Maupin that time. He goes off the right side and doesn't get much, if anything.
Well, Kika made a great play right there. Good penetration, stopped the offensive line in their tracks. Good pursuit by the Barons defense to hold this horse away from the end zone.
Yeah, you're right. Kika, that's the body you see going down inside. He got some help from the outside by McAllister, who didn't give up any ground either. 2nd down, ball still at the 1-yard line.
Let's go, Reno. Make some noise. Goal line stand. Ready to go.
The pitch and the fumble recovered. That's Horatio Leyva who will get it. 2nd time in as many weeks, Leyva has made a big fumble recovery. Last week it was in the end zone, and now it stops the drive for Stockton.
Big play by the Barons defense. You see here on the replay, just a quick toss. Receiver was looking ahead before holding on to the ball. We had a fumble, and Leyva was right there to pick it up for the Barons.
When you're near the goal line, one of the toughest things to do is concentrate and make sure you've got it secured before you go, because you're so anxious to get in, and that's where the mistake was made by Stockton. Peregrine has him at the 8-yard line, 1st and 10. Reversing field, coming back the other way is Rakeem Smith with the carry, his first of the evening.
Nice job by Rakeem to see where the pursuit was moving. Everyone was moving to the left here, and you see him. He noticed that. He cut to the right, was maybe make 7-8 yards, close to a 1st down.
His first step, along with Valentine's, are very quick, and that's an essential in indoor football, you've got to make the move and then be on your way. And that's exactly what he did. Peregrine, again, they're dropping into those passing lanes, and Peregrine's having a tough time. That's about the third time he's thrown for Del Bates, and Bates with this little down and curl, but somehow the ball wasn't near him. And I think it's because Stockton dropping into passing lanes, Peregrine not really seeing his receiver and getting a good read.
Well, also, Dan, I think there's just a miscommunication there. I think Bates was kind of running an option route where he can go inside or outside depending on the defense. And he came inside, Peregrine saw outside.
Third down. And about 6 for a first. Peregrine wants to go for the bundle. Got a man deep. That's Bale. Raheem Smith.
That's Bates on the touchdown.
No, I think it's Raheem Smith, is it not? It is 3. I'm sorry, 2 and 3. I had trouble seeing that. It is Bates with the long-range touchdown. We get another look here.
Here's Peregrine, dropped back, and he has a nice field throwing the ball. Bates ran a great route, got behind the defense, caught the ball even though it was a little underthrown, but he had such separation, he was able to still grasp the ball in, score 6 points for the Barons.
The quarter has expired, but we will have the extra point attempt by Trout. He missed it, so the score will stay 13-8. We're through one quarter. We'll be back to downtown Reno. We'll see Murph Trout, who just missed the extra point, lining it up. We watched him in practice. He's been trying to hit that single, and he's trying to find the best angle to avoid the scoreboard right in the middle of the field. And this one he keeps low, bounces it out of the surface, and the Wolves will get the return. They will have the ball at the 20-yard line.
You know, Dan, we talked about the Barons. They were behind for the first time this season. The coaching staff has to be very pleased. They've come back with 2 scores to take the lead.
Yeah, and they caused a turnover. You're always happy about that. They'll get it at the 10-yard line.
And section 104, row 11, seat number 13.
Stockton Barons are coached by Benny King. There's a good look at Benny. Coach, of course, can be on the field, and he has been on the field, as has Anthony Bartley for the Barons, with the play caller. Elliott, the quarterback, sends a man in motion. He throws for the bomb, and in and out of the hands. Boy, that ball should have been caught. Bates knocked it away. It was Janus Tillery who had his hands on it, and you'll see how well he had his hands on it, but couldn't hang on long enough.
Yes, it was maybe lofted a little too much. It gave Bates a chance to get there, and he had hands on there, but I think Bates was able to knock it off his hands and make a good play for the Baron defense.
Yeah, you're right. That ball might have been up in the air just a little too long, not thrown directly enough.